sound. Devo Jones with the pick six, Keanu Neal with the hard hit, getting the ball back on offense. Watch Julio Jones keep moving the sticks. Calvin really in for the score. We came back, we up four, about to get in. Our victory stats, no coming back. We closing the door. A-T-L, blackout. A-T-L, blackout.
What's going on, football fans? It's me, J.R. Clark, back again with another coach's show. Y'all didn't seem to be too impressed with the Canadian version of Kyle Shanahan. So this time around, I'm going to bring you what could potentially be the next Kyle Shanahan. This gentleman that we're talking about has been credited as being the genius behind the San Francisco 49ers run game. If you're looking for the guy who has been attached to Kyle Shanahan at every stop he's had, it's been this guy. So for all you ones who wanted to keep Matt LaFleur when Kyle Shanahan took the coaching job out in San Francisco, I think this might be your next best thing as far as trying to recreate that offensive magic and that offensive genius. Now, I am talking about none other than Mike McDaniel. Now, as you can see, he was formerly on our staff. And on our staff, Mike McDaniel he was just an offensive assistant, right? Like I said, he's Kyle Shanahan's right-hand man. If you want somebody to come in here and be able to duplicate and replicate the offensive success that we had in 2016, this guy is your best bet. Now, as you can see, he doesn't have a ton of traditional coaching experience. He started as an intern in 2005. He's been an offensive assistant. He's been a running back coach, mainly an offensive assistant. He was a wide receivers coach in Washington. Same with the Browns. For us, he was an offensive assistant. And since 2017, he's been the run game coordinator out there in San Francisco. He's heavily involved in the game plan. And he is, like I said, accredited with being some of the genius behind their offensive success, especially in the run game. And that's saying something with the fact that they've been able to take no-name guys, guys that were undrafted, guys that you've never heard of, and turn them into quality products on the field. Like, let's see, this right here says that San Francisco led the NFL with 23 rushing touchdowns for just the second time in franchise history. Had three different players put up over 500 yards rushing. And before they that, Mike McDaniel and Kyle Shanahan got a hold of these guys, you didn't know who Raheem Mostert was or Matt Breida. I mean, obviously we know who Tevin Coleman was, but we know who Tevin Coleman is because of Shanahan. So that's what I'm talking about when you're bringing a guy like this in. This is a swing for the fences kind of hire, in the sense that he has no traditional coaching experience. Now, he's been in the game and around the game for a long time. He's a smart dude. He graduated from Yale. We like to make a big deal about that with the players who come from those leagues. So we could potentially make a big deal about potential coach who come from this league. The only problem with a guy like this, like I said, he doesn't have a ton of coaching background. There's not a lot of things that you could point at that specifically has his finger on it. Now, he does have recommendations and high praise from some of his former players. Here's a wide receiver, Andrew Hawkins, talking about here, multiple teams have inquired about the run game coordinator, Mike McDaniel. He played under Mike, one season under Mike, and if they wanted an offensive guru, listen to that word there, offensive guru, he'd bet all his money that you would have one in Mike McDaniel. So that's pretty high praise. Granted, he only played with him one season, but if I'm not mistaken, the season they played with him, he was a wide receivers coach, and that was one of the best seasons that Andrew Hawkins ever had. So that speaks high praises there in and of itself. But if you have a problem with Eric Bieniemy not calling plays, same deal here, right? Mike McDaniel doesn't call plays at all. He's heavily involved in the game plan, but he doesn't call plays himself. And so if that makes you a little squeamish, then that's a potential problem as it stands right there. As I said before, this is Kyle Shanahan's right-hand man. He's only 37 years old, 37, 38. I'm not sure when his birthday is, but well, it may say March 6th. There's his birthday. Anyway, it says right there he has been with trusted right-hand man. A pair have worked together since Houston. It's why Shanahan deems him indispensable, and it's why McDaniels is poised to follow in his footsteps as one of the NFL's most creative offensive play callers in years to come. So that right there is high praises for a guy. And what I've been wanting and what I've been looking for in the next head coach is a innovative offensive mind that can make the best use out of the players that we have, that we can scheme them open and attack the defense's weakness. That's what I'm looking for. A coach that can see the weaknesses of a defense and attack them. And this guy at least sounds like this is what he could potentially be bringing to the table. This is a lot of ifs and a lot of buts with a guy like this, right? Anytime you take a look at somebody like this, it is a boom or bust prospect. Now, the last few coaching hires, Arthur Blank has kind of played it safe, coming off the heels of Petrino, stuff like that. So maybe he's ready to swing for the fences again, try to get the best use out of, what is going to be a patchwork roster with the salary cap situations that we're going to have and going forward with this COVID reality that we're living in right now. So, if you want the next Kyle Shanahan or potentially the next offensive guru, the next Sean McVay, that kind of player, or that kind of coach, this guy fits the bill as far as all that goes. Now, what you have to ask yourself, are you comfortable hiring a guy who has never really coached, like at a coordinator level? Are you willing to hire that guy to run your entire franchise? If you hire a guy like this, you better pair him with a strong defensive-minded defensive coordinator. Somebody like a Rex Ryan or, type, or a Wade Phillips type. Okay? That's what you would be looking for if you decided to go with McDaniel. But I think he'd be an intriguing coach and an intriguing hire. He would definitely get our run game going, which has been abysmal the past 2 years under Dirk Cutter. But that's just my opinion. I appreciate all y'all's follows, your likes, your subscriptions, all that good stuff. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm at Grimm1128. That's GRIMM1128. As always, put your comments down below if there's somebody you'd like to see me talk about. I'm going for names that you might not be thinking of. So if you put a often talked about prospect, I may not do it, and I may, just depending on how it goes. But I'm really trying to dig deep and find some people nobody's talking about. Anyway, appreciate it, folks. Y'all have a good night. And as always, Falcons fans, rise up.
Devo Jones with the pick six, Keanu Neal with the hard hit, getting the ball back on offense. Watch Julio Jones keep moving the sticks. Calvin Ridley in for the score. We came back, we up four, about to get in. Our victory stance, no coming back. We closing the door. A-T-L, blackout. A